You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news at 11, an argument over fireworks turns physical. One Northport man says his neighbor punched him in the eye after he confronted him for shooting off fireworks late into the night. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from where it all happened. And Rick, you spoke to those neighbors. What did they have to say?
Yeah, Jacqueline, it did happen right in this neighborhood. One man says he was sucker punched. This is an image of the bloodied eye Bjorn Stornes suffered at the hands of another man Saturday night. Stornes says he approached some neighbors on Snowflake Lane in Northport because they were shooting off loud fireworks, and it was frightening to his family, including his 14-year-old daughter and their 3 dogs.
I went over there. I asked them politely to knock it off, to stop with the fireworks. They became belligerent, yelling, screaming, hooting, hollering. In the middle of the incident, I was basically sucker punched from my right side and my right eye.
Stornes says he did try to call police about the fireworks around 10 o'clock at night, but he was placed on hold. So that's when he went to confront the neighbors. He says he never stepped on their property. Police say that according to the people at the home, Stornes was threatening them and did step on their property. Because of that and no third-party witness, the man who punched Stornes was not charged.
Without us being there at the time, and again, a third-party witness, it's really just 2 sides of a story and not a whole lot you can do with that.
Police say it's important for people to wait on police to handle noise complaints and not take matters into their own hands. They tell us the man who punched Stornes will not be charged. Stornes says he's going to keep pushing hard to get that man arrested and charged, especially since he's feeling a lot of pain from his bloodied eye.
They claim, all right, that I was making threats, and that's not true, first off. And even if I was, it still doesn't give you the right to physically assault somebody, or batter them, rather. You know, I'm looking for some kind of justice here.
And we did speak with people who live at the home where this happened, but they did not want to comment on this. Reporting live from Northport this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Rick, thank you. Last night we reported the murder of a woman found dead in her Sarasota home, and tonight her husband is behind bars charged with her murder. Police have identified the victim as 47-year-old Blanca Sanders. Sanders was stabbed several times in the stomach and her throat was slashed. Police are now charging her husband, 39-year-old Spencer Sanders, with her murder.
We have been to this house before. We responded in May of this year for domestic battery as well, and we actually charged the same individual with domestic battery by strangulation.
Spencer Sanders was scheduled to have his first appearance in front of a judge today, but refused to go. This is the city's 3rd homicide of 2018. A diving trip turns deadly off of Nokomis Beach late this morning. A diver went missing about a mile off of Minnesota Beach at around 10 a.m. and has now been confirmed dead by the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. The diver who died was 61 years old. His name was James Little, and he had lived in Venice his entire life.
Not an easy call out today, not an easy response from our agency. Luckily, there were 3 divers on board and the 2 other divers are okay today.
Those who knew him say he was an experienced diver. Sarasota County Medical Examiner is now determining the cause of death. A busy day also on the waters for Venice police. Just hours after responding to that missing diver, they got a call that a boat had crashed into the Venice jetty. Fortunately, no one was on that boat. The large boat had reportedly been drifting from the marina next to Jetty Jack's in Venice and finally came to a stop when it crashed into the rocks at the end of the jetty.
And we seen the boat moving with nobody on it, and then we realized that the anchor line was still out, so we assumed the anchor had pulled and it was just drifting. And so we watched it drift, and it got closer and closer to the jetties. And I called my friend Craig Markham of CETO. He has direct contact with all the police, and he immediately got on the phone with the police, and they raced out here. And
Marine Patrol was able to safely move that boat back to the marina. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast and what we can expect for tomorrow morning, Bob.
Good evening, everyone. We are looking at some showers and storms that were around earlier, all gone now out in the Gulf of Mexico. It's been rather quiet over the past couple of days. Really, we've had some scattered showers. Most of the action has been along I-75 and east. There hasn't been a lot of rainfall near the coastline. Now, we are seeing one or two lone showers with the potential of popping up here in the Gulf of Mexico overnight. Not much and not many. We had some rainfall around earlier today. Again, that rain all over, and we're not anticipating any storms overnight. And the big picture showing we have the remnants of what was Beryl still well east of our area and making its way off toward the east for now. There's a chance they're starting to see a cluster of storms developing there. All elsewhere, everything's quiet in the Gulf of Mexico. All is quiet there. And as far as the water vapor content goes, some dry air just to the north of us and to the south of us. That will limit some of the activity tomorrow. We also have quite a bit of African dust out here in the Gulf of Mexico, and that dust made for a spectacular sunset tonight. We have some excellent photos to show you in a bit. Here's the forecast then. As I mentioned, one or two lone showers are possible out here. By right around sunrise, we'll see a few isolated cells developing. This particular model shows a little bit more action moving onshore late in the morning, early afternoon. And then the main focus again will be in the central portion of the state. Well, much more of that coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. A new foster home is coming to Manatee County along with another major resource for the region. The organization One More Child is adding a fourth rent-free home to its Palmetto campus for foster parents and children. Next door, there are plans to build a compassion center, which will help store and distribute donations and also provide services and training for working poor families to help avoid more foster care demand in the future. Tony Azinger, wife of professional golfer and Suncoast resident Paul Azinger, helped spark the new center after visiting a similar one in Lakeland.
I was so impressed and excited that I said, we need that in Manatee County.
It's not just about being a foster parent, but it's also about the community coming alongside the foster parents. So the Compassion Center will be able to allow people who maybe aren't ready to open their home to a foster child to come and, help work there at the Compassion Center.
Last year, Sarasota, Manatee, and DeSoto counties added 50 new foster homes and only lost 40. That's the first year of net gain in recent memory. Stetson University's Veterans Law Institute is partnering with the Bay Pines VA Center to assist veterans with civil legal services in Bradenton and Sarasota. Legal clinics will be available July through December at the outpatient clinics in both cities. Legal services include family law, housing, consumer, bankruptcy, licensing, disability services, and much more. Nurses across the Suncoast out in full force today protesting and picketing at several hospitals. Those nurses want to bring light to issues that they want resolved. They say they want to see change when it comes to patient care, staffing, recruitment, and retention.
The other thing is having improved compensation and wages so that we can really attract the experienced nurses that we need. We need to be able to recruit those nurses and then retain them.
Today, Doctors Hospital released a statement saying that a recruitment and retention initiative is already in place. This morning's protests were held at Blake and Doctors Hospital, as well as hospitals in Orlando, Tampa, and St. Petersburg. Several pro-choice and gay rights groups gathered at the state capitol today, calling on Florida Senators Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio to oppose the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court. Earlier this week, Kavanaugh was nominated by President Trump to replace retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy on the nation's highest court. Rallying in front of the Florida Supreme Court, progressive activists say Kavanaugh's judicial record is too extreme and does not reflect the values of most Floridians.
Make no mistake about it, the right to access abortion safely and legally in this country is absolutely on the line. Planned Parenthood and our allies are vigorously opposed to the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh for this lifetime seat on the Supreme Court.
Protesters also criticized Kavanaugh for his opinions on gay rights issues and the Affordable Care Act, saying there is a possibility the law known as Obamacare could be overturned. Governor Rick Scott issuing an executive order today urging counties to protect public beach access. The order calls on counties to not limit access to beaches and to keep them open in public. The governor said in part, Florida is home to the world's best beaches, and every Floridian and visitor has the right to fully enjoy our state's natural resources. He went on to say the beaches belong to all of us and people visit the Sunshine State because of them. HUD Secretary Ben Carson on the Sun Coast today, taking part in a book giveaway for children living in subsidized housing. Carson is a former neurosurgeon and author who ran for president in 2016. With a shortage of affordable housing units, one of Carson's priorities is helping subsidized housing tenants become self-sufficient and ensuring that children are reading at grade level so that it can be critical to their future success.
I celebrate what's been done by the group here, the way that they've been able to work together, educational, as well as the city council, the mayor, the police, public housing authorities. These are the kinds of things that work in our society.
Carson worked with the program Book Rich Environment for today's event. Local libraries, the Sarasota Community Foundation, and the Education Foundation of Sarasota County all support that program. 8 states will be initiating a program to fight opioids based off the successful program that was started in Manatee County. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says federal prosecutors in those states will be looking for even small cases of opioid sales in hopes of reducing the supply of the drugs in areas with high overdose death rates. Sessions announced the new program today in New Hampshire, where President Donald Trump has called a quote, drug-infested den. And that's not the only thing Manatee County is getting recognition for today. It's also being called a healthy community by the Florida Department of Health. The Healthy Community Champions Recognition Program highlights local governments that have focused on improving the places that people live, work, and play. FDH says Manatee stood out as one of 10 Florida counties to receive the honor for its bicycle routes, parks, greenways, farm stands, and community orchard. Stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus an FBI agent defending himself for text messages found where he allegedly bashes President Trump, and the sports team that's cutting ties with Papa John's Pizza. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. or visit SoClean.com today.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Bob, this evening wasn't too bad. A nice sunset and not as many showers as we had yesterday.
Yeah, it hasn't cooled off either. It's 93. That's what it feels like right now. It's actually feeling warmer than our actual high today was 91. We are looking at warm temperatures because of lack of rain. We also have some African dust in the atmosphere and made for a spectacular sunset. Here is a tower cam showing that sunset time lapse. And you can see it was beautiful out there. A nice pink sky, and 2 nights in a row we've had a really spectacular sunset, and that's a direct result of a little bit more dust in the atmosphere. And speaking of photos, get a look at these. These are just spectacular. Val Vasilescu getting this one here, Sarasota in the background. You can see that with all the beautiful colors and the oranges and the purples and the pinks on this one, and even the yellows. Fred Seeger from Casey Key, and City Island, Rita Zucchelli, also with some blues and oranges and reds, and this one all the way from Oakford, even Oakford out there in the east of I-75. Karen sending that photo in. Appreciate all the photos. Can't get to all of them. Obviously be spending the whole weather segment just showing those gorgeous photos. But the Titan radar picture not depicting any rainfall around to cool us down. The feels like temperature, as I mentioned, right now at 90, around 93 degrees. Some rain did occur, mainly east of I-75. Some areas did get over an inch just east of Parrish, and also Northport picking up over a half-inch of rainfall with some lightning earlier today, but really limited storms. And this particular model indicating a few showers are possible, but more than likely we'll see a few popping up out here in the Gulf of Mexico. Those will have a tendency to work their way onshore. Now, the model I showed you earlier showed a little bit more action. I tend to agree with this one more so, as we'll see a few scattered storms late morning, early afternoon as the sea breeze works in, and then the main focus with the east and west coast breeze meeting in the middle. The bigger storms will be east of I-75, and they'll have a tendency to work their way back toward the coast, but there won't be that many. The rain chance below average at 30% tomorrow. It will pick up a little bit on Saturday. As you can start to see, we see more of an east and northeasterly wind flow, and that has a tendency to bring the storms closer to the coast at least. Our rain chance will bounce up to 40% only. Well, tropical tracker, Chris is gone. It got picked up by this trough of low pressure, and Beryl, the remnants, continue to push away from the Bahamas. There's still a chance it could develop back into a tropical depression or a storm. Nothing going on in the Gulf or in the Caribbean right now. And the satellite imagery showing some deep convection starting to blow up here just southwest of Bermuda. There's a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere, so there's no threat of anything developing anytime soon in the Caribbean. And in fact, the forecast for the next couple of weeks in the Caribbean, a strong easterly trade wind. And we have that in July. It usually means we're not going to see many hurricanes in August and September either. That's just a little bit of a notification there as far as that goes. We still have very cool temperatures in the Atlantic as well, and El Nino is expected to develop. Temperatures 85 right now in the Sarasota Braden Airport. It's 81 in downtown Sarasota. The Gulf water temperature at 87. Current conditions, I mentioned that feels like temperature 93 right now. We have an actual 85-degree temperature and a very light wind, so nothing to cool us down. 91 the high, just 1 degree above the average. This morning's low was at 74. Tomorrow, look for a late morning, early afternoon shower. The heat index up near 99 to 100 degrees. And then we'll see another chance for some scattered late day showers, mainly inland. Temperatures currently pretty warm across most of the U.S. 83 in Kansas City now, Chicago at 80. For boaters, not much wind out there at all. Seas running less than 2 feet. Smooth conditions out on the waters. The extended forecast and slight chance on Friday. Over the weekend, a little bit better. Still below seasonal averages, though. 40% will not be a washout. We'll see scattered storms, and pretty much the same story Tuesday through Thursday of next week. Well, a father and his 3 sons from Indiana went fishing with Captain Johnny Walker, and they had a blast. To avoid any red tide, Captain Johnny headed north in Sarasota Bay in hopes to find some fish. Making it to some grass flats and using some small greenbacks, the trout bite was on. Riley brings in this small one, but his father shows him up with this bigger catch.
Isaac.
Whoa, you knew it. That was a big one there, man. There were no signs of red tide where we were, and the bite was fair to middling as Riley hooks up this tasty treat. Nice size snapper. Using a popping cork to keep the bait right off the grass flats, Dad hooks up another monster.
We'll let that one go back in, grow up, have a bunch of babies.
As she will live to see another day. 6-year-old Isaac was also having a blast, bringing in several fish along with his keeper trout.
I don't think it's a shark, but you know what? It might be a trout. That's a good one, huh, Isaac?
We moved to a few places just to cool off, but the catching did not, as Peyton catches up to his siblings.
That one's a keeper, I think.
That's close. That's 15 inches.
Oh, that's 15 inches.
They even caught this fast-hitting fish.
Ooh, it's zipping out. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity day. My, oh, my, it's a hot day. It's a Spanish mackerel. Whoa.
Riley was living the life of Riley, wrapping things up with this nice last catch.
That's a good one. Oh, look at that. And he fell off in the net. What a way to end the day. Hey, remember, take your kid fishing, because someday they may take you.
And Dad did there. He took his 3 sons out. Well, this guy right here catching a huge red snapper with yellow eyes. Captain Christopher Boyne sending that photo in. And Coach Steve Herrick at it again. This was a few days ago. 35-inch snook for his client out there at Beach Fishing Adventures on Longboat Key. And Captain Alan Roth said the snook bite is on right now, but they are not in season. And a big bass by Barbara Ann Scaramuzo. Barbara always catching some good fish right there. She caught that right by her lake.
Wow.
Right by her house. Nice catch.
Pretty impressive.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Bob. A hostile hearing on Capitol Hill. FBI agent Peter Strzok in front of cameras for the first time, defending himself in his text messages about then candidate Donald Trump. Lawmakers threatening to hold him in contempt. The hearing chaotic and personal, with Democrats accusing Republicans of not following congressional rules. ABC's Serena Marshall has the latest from Washington.
Please, have you Mr. Chair, Mrs. Dean. It's unlike anything typically seen on Capitol Hill.
This hearing is a kangaroo court. It is a 3-ring circus.
FBI agent Peter Strzok, who led the Hillary Clinton email investigation and then was assigned to special counsel Robert Mueller's Trump-Russia investigation, battling with Republican lawmakers who have accused him of improper bias.
Not once in my 26 years of defending our nation did my personal opinions impact any official action I took. But I strongly believe today's hearing is just another victory notch in Putin's belt.
Republicans hammered him over personal texts he exchanged over work cell phones with an FBI lawyer, Lisa Page, while having an extramarital affair. Republicans seizing on one exchange in particular, where he said, no, he's not, we'll stop it, in reply to Page asking about Trump winning the election. Strzok says those comments were an expression of outrage after Trump's attack on the Muslim parents of a fallen American soldier, and accused Republicans of twisting his words.
But I don't appreciate what was originally said being changed.
I don't give a damn what you appreciate, Agent Strzok. I don't appreciate having an FBI agent with an unprecedented level of animus working on 2 major investigations during 2016.
At one point, things getting personal.
How many times did you look so innocent into your wife's eye and lie to her about Lisa?
The chamber in chaos. What is wrong with that? You need your medication. When Strzok was finally able to respond.
The fact that you would accuse me otherwise, the fact that you would question whether or not that was the sort of look I would engage with in a family member who I have acknowledged hurting, goes more to a discussion about your character.
During the hearing, Strzok defended the agency, saying lawmakers' accusations of bias inside the FBI were corrosive and deeply destructive. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, I'm back, baby! Kathy Griffin's here and anything can happen.
Get out of here!
And get to know Jim Jeffries.
I did not know that about you. Why would you?
Plus Vance Joy on the outdoor stage. Emmy-nominated Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran, who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Hello, I'm John Merce. Rugs As Art is celebrating yet another anniversary, and I would personally like to thank each and every one of you for the many years of continuous support. All during the month of July, we're having a grand celebration. We have flooded our showroom with yellow tag specials, meaning more discounts and more savings than ever before, plus free padding. So don't miss this anniversary celebration at Rugs As Art, Sarasota's bigger and better area rug superstore.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California closet story.
Now, sports.
The start of the opener between the Rays and the Twins delayed tonight because of the rain. The Rays trying to go for their 6th win in a row. Right now, it's the top of the 4th, and the Twins are up by 3. Serena Williams taking on Julia Gerges in the women's semifinals at Wimbledon today. Serena starts off strong with the big backhand winner into the corner in the first set. In the second set, Gerges' lob goes long. Serena's hustle wins her for that match. Serena advances to Saturday's final against Angelique Kerber. And the Miami Marlins are cutting ties with Papa John's after the recent scandal with the company's founder. John Shatner apologized yesterday for using the N-word on a conference call back in May, saying that he used that racial slur during a role-playing exercise. The Marlins announced their decision today, one day after his resignation as chairman. In a statement, the Marlins say Shatner's comments are not at all reflective of the values of their organization. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto number straight ahead.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Emmy Award nominations are out, and there are some familiar contenders for the 70th annual event. Game of Thrones is back and led the nomination with 22 nods, including Outstanding Drama against last year's winner, The Handmaid's Tale. The Americans, The Crown, Stranger Things, This Is Us, and Westworld will also compete for top drama. Netflix also made a bit of history. The streaming giant dethroned HBO for most nominations, a title that the cable network had held for almost 2 decades. Netflix had 112 nominations to HBO's 108. The Emmys will be handed out on September 17th. You can watch the Emmys right here on ABC7. On September 18th, Sunday, September 18th. And, you know, Netflix has got some pretty good shows.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about their different shows because they offer a variety of different kinds of genre there, I guess, and it suits everyone's needs. I just don't have time to watch it. Anyway, we are looking at some decent weather tomorrow. A few showers are possible in the morning, but for the most part, we're not expecting a lot of rainfall. The rain chance at 30%. Temperatures will be warm. Of course, tune in tomorrow morning. Good morning, Suncoast. All right.
All right. Thank you, Bob. And thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening. Have a good one.